Good evening and thank you for joining us. The Hong Kong International Airport's 3-runway system began operations today. The system can ratchet up the airport's landing and takeoff capacity by up to 50%. Authorities hope the city's aviation industry can explore more new flight destinations while expanding the airport services to the Greater Bay Area. The newly unveiled Central Runway, formerly the Northern Runway, taking planes to the skies once again. The maiden passenger plane taking off from the runway at around 4 p.m. was this Cathay Pacific Airbus A350 plane, flight CX-8333, carrying mostly students. Along the Southern Runway, another flight took off heading for Tokyo. Landing at the same time via the Northern Runway was flight HB861, belonging to Greater Bay Airlines, which returned to Hong Kong from Zhongshan in eastern China. These takeoffs and landings marking the historic launch of the city's 3-runway system, which comes with a price tag of $140 billion and has taken more than 8 years to build. The control tower then arranges for the departing flights, which took off at the same time from the Central and Southern runways. Hong Kong Express's UO114 to Taipei was the first commercial flight to use the Central Runway. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Chief Executive Johnny urged Hong Kong's aviation industry to recover flight capacities in full steam, leverage the edge from the Greater Bay Area, and expand global connectivity. Lee said the government will seize the opportunity to expand Hong Kong's aviation networks, and airlines should also enhance services to open up more new destinations, especially those along the Belt and Road countries. Chairman of the Airport Authority Fred Lam said they encountered many challenges over the past 8 years, including the pandemic, manpower crunch, and reclamation issues, but they've overcome them all. Another new facility from the system is Concourse T2, located in a newly reclaimed zone. It will provide 63 parking bays for aircraft. The Airport Authority said they will be opened in phases. The AA added that in the first 6 months, the number of flights per hour will be increased from 70 to 75, then gradually raised to a maximum of 102. It should be able to handle up to 120 million passengers and 10 million tons of cargo each year. China's Ministry of Transport believes it can inject new impetus into accelerating the development of the Greater Bay Area. Also beginning services today is Guangdong Province's largest port, the Zhongshan Passenger Port. The facility aims to attract tourists seeking a connection flight from Hong Kong. The port is located on Ma'an Island in Zhongshan's Tui Heng New Area. The inaugural ferry Zhongshan 20 carried 219 passengers as it departed for Tsim Sha Tsui at 10 a.m. The entire journey lasted 65 minutes, 20 minutes faster than before. Passengers can make use of the 8 ferries traveling between the Zhongshan port and the Hong Kong International Airport Sky Pier. It could conduct their boarding procedures at Zhongshan before taking a 50-minute ferry ride to Hong Kong. Part of Shenzhen Metro Line 13 is expected to open by the end of this year. It's set to connect Shenzhen Bay Checkpoint Station and Kaohsiung Middle Station. Here's a preview. Smart ticket vending machines and access gates at the Shenzhen Bay Checkpoint Station have been installed. Operated by Hong Kong's MTR, the fully automated Line 13 features orange trains that reach a maximum speed of 100 kilometers per hour. Each train can carry about 2,200 passengers. There are 4 interchange stations among the 7 stations, running from Shenzhen Bay Checkpoint Station to Kaohsiung Middle Station. The launch date for the remaining section of Line 13, which includes Shangwu Station, will be announced later. As part of the city's effort to attract more Muslim tourists, a Chinese restaurant recently became the first upmarket eatery in Hong Kong to be Halal certified and adheres to Islamic dietary requirements. Timothy Lee tells us more.
In lockstep with the government's efforts to attract more tourists from Islamic countries, the Hong Kong Tourism Board joined hands with various certification bodies to ensure more restaurants and hotels become Muslim-friendly. Currently, more than 130 restaurants in Hong Kong were given halal certifications by the Incorporated Trustees of the Islamic Community Fund of Hong Kong. This as one high-end Chinese restaurant became the first of its kind in the city to receive the dietary qualification. To receive their certificate, the restaurant had to prevent non-halal food products from being in contact with cooking tools, utensils, and halal ingredients. The manager of the restaurant said the entire certificate application process took around half a year. He added that chefs had to make a host of adjustments when cooking, such as having to use other ingredients to replace alcohol when creating similar flavors. The Tourism Board's Deputy Executive Director Becky Ip noted Muslim tourists tend to spend more money in the city and hopes that they can enjoy more high-end Chinese cuisine through adopting a more halal-friendly atmosphere. Meanwhile, the Tourism Board will strengthen promotional activities through visits and social media in Islamic regions such as the Middle East and Indonesia. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Day 98 of NIC's digital founder Jimmy Lai's national security trial. The former media tycoon continued to take the stand to defend himself at West Kowloon Court. In his testimony, Lai admitted he got connected with UK-based protester Fin Lau, known as Mutual Destruction Bro, through paralegal Waylon Chen Siwa. Lai then invited Lau to form a leadership group so their actions would be direct and accurate. But Lai denied that he himself wanted to lead the international front, which included lobbying efforts for foreign governments. However, he admitted that he wanted to introduce Waylon Chan to Benedict Rogers, which is the co-founder of Hong Kong Watch, a human rights organization in the UK. Lai said he believed Rogers cared about Hong Kong and considered the possibility of including him in their international campaigns. Pope Francis said on Wednesday that starting from next week, his weekly teachings at the Vatican will also be translated into Putonghua. The Pontiff's audiences are currently held in Italian and translated into 8 languages: English, French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Polish, and Arabic. Putonghua Chinese will be added as a 9th official language at papal events held every Wednesday from December 4th. The Vatican and China recently agreed to extend the provisional agreement regarding appointment of bishops for another 4 years. Pope Francis has been keen to engage with Beijing and expressed a desire to go to China one day. He extolled it as a promise and hope for the Catholic Church when wrapping up the 4-nation tour in Asia in September. South Korea's capital, Seoul, and the surrounding areas is suffering its heaviest November snowfall in half a century. About an hour outside the capital, commuters had to dig their cars out or push them through the snow continuing to fall. More than 20 centimeters has fallen. Branches heavy with snow fell off trees. In icy conditions, a pileup involving 5 cars killed 1 person and injured 4 others. Another person died when a temporary building collapsed under the weight of snow. 300 flights were cancelled with other transport disrupted. Back on Earth and locally, the Hong Kong Construction Industry Employees General Union said more than 2,000 construction workers suffered delayed salary payments. The cases involved more than $300 million from various projects, including government works. The union said it received requests for help from multiple workers at Tung Chung Area 100 and other sites over wage arrears, totaling some $100 million. Tallying up these latest cases, a total of more than 2,000 workers have reported cases of delayed wage payments since the beginning of the year. Some workers suffered delayed payments for at least 6 months. The group said the situation has been the worst in the past 40 years. The union recommended that owners or contractors set up a third-party credit platform with funds to protect workers' interests. Hong Kong was rated as average in inclusivity according to findings from the city's first Hong Kong Inclusion Index. 20% of those surveyed indicated that they experienced discrimination over the past year. These include South Asians as well as male carers. Timothy Lee reports.
Having launched its first inclusion index this year, Hong Kong Christian Service conducted a survey between May and June covering 8 key areas such as employment, housing, and diversity among the community. The survey involved 1,026 individuals, half male and half female, with over 90% of respondents being Chinese. Announcing the city's score of 69.44, the Christian organization said Hong Kong was rated as average when it comes to inclusivity. Regarding individual categories, the city scored the highest in healthcare and housing, but the lowest in education and employment. HKCS added discrimination against the South Asian community was significantly worse than other people.
South Asians who are not born in Hong Kong, actually for average, they have the score of 3.76 times of facing this kind of discriminated or unfriendly situation, which is a lot higher than the average of the overall findings.
Meanwhile, Mr. Wang, a single father with a chronic illness taking care of a 7-year-old daughter, said he continues to face discrimination and rude remarks when caring for his daughter in public. HKCS noted traditional culture in the city and social pressure remain obstacles to the acceptance of a stay-at-home father.
Chinese culture mainly will take male as the gender, the family income, the role, and more part on the taking care of the child will rely on the female. And when nowadays we are mentioning about the gender equality, more opportunity the female can choose between either they will work or they will take care of the family. However, in the male part, in now situation, is not so popular for the society to accept male as a family caregiver.
Based on the survey results, Hong Kong Christian Service provided a number of suggestions to improve the city's inclusive atmosphere. They include strengthening individualized learning, promoting a work culture that supports ethnic minorities, and respecting males' choices regarding family life. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
And that's the news. Thank you for watching.